Welcome to the Think Factory podcast. We got one question for you. What keeps you up at night?
Hello, this is Susan Nofi. We're at Printing United 2023 in Atlanta, and I'm here today with Patrick Klarecki. Pat is the program chair of the Graphic Communications program at Ferris State University, and I've had the absolute pleasure of sharing board positions with Pat over the years at the Scholarship Foundation in the printing industry and on the accreditation committee for graphic arts programs. Pat has a great knowledge of the printing industry from that perspective, as well as a general perspective on educating young people into the graphic arts program. We wanted to talk a little bit about that today because one of the main issue that the interviewees that we've had here on the Think Factory at the show has been the labor market and getting the interest of the younger generation into the print industry. But Pat, I feel like that's been an issue as long as I've been involved in the print industry over the past almost 40 years.
It's been a challenge ever since I've gotten involved in the industry myself. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see you again. Thanks for having me. The industry goes through so many cycles and changes and directions, but the need for skilled, motivated labor is always there.
Mm-hmm. And how are you addressing that at Ferris State?
Well, that's probably 80% of my job, but beyond teaching, is trying to recruit young people. We're not competing. When I first started into this industry 45 years ago, the big issue was printers are going to be poaching employees from another printer, and there's still an issue with that. I guess it'll always be that way. But I think what my challenge is trying to convince printing company owners that they're competing against the Amazons and the .coms and all of these other industries, especially with young people who are trying to navigate through their journey of early life, figuring out what it is that they want to do. Back in the old days, we used to look for people that had mechanical aptitude. They like fixing their bicycles or motorcycles or cars, and we could kind of grab hold of them and say, you'd be a great press operator or a service technician. It's not that way anymore. First of all, kids don't know that they like to ride their bikes as much as they play video games and things. So we have to be mindful that there are other industries that are perceived by young people and their parents. It's an important influencer that are more glamorous, have long-term security for whatever reason. It's again all perception. So having to convince them that the print media industry has all of those things, not just newspapers, so much more.
It's not, and it's the high-tech aspect and the digital aspect is all you hear nowadays within the industry. And if you visit any of the equipment manufacturers here, everything is run by digital, and it's actually quite sophisticated.
Yes, it is. And one of the nice things about the Print United show, this is the first one I've been to since the old print shows in Chicago days, and it's just so amazing for me. Like I say, I've been in this industry my entire life, and I walk in here and I'm still just amazed, especially with the direct-to-garment and some of the things that I knew were out there, but I just physically not seen. And we brought 8 students here with us, and their eyes are like little kids on Christmas morning. They're just amazed at the opportunities.
So why should a student, say, in high school who gets the opportunity to learn about the printing industry as a career come to a graphic communications program as opposed to just trying to find a job in the industry?
That's a great question. One thing that I really like about the print industry, and when I go out to different high schools, I'm very open and upfront saying, hey, the print industry is one of the industries that you can still have a very, very lucrative, rewarding career without a college education. And college isn't always for everybody. think that one of the challenges we have in this country is this perception that if you don't have a bachelor's degree, you're going to work at a gas station your whole life, but we need tradespeople. But because as a society, I think we've sent this message to kids from the day they're born that you're going to go to college and be something. So what I do to kind of make that clear is that guess what? You could get a college degree in the print media. When I was a high school senior, I had never heard of such a thing, and my graphics teacher kind of smacked me in the side of the head and said, "Hey, why don't you go to college and study printing?" And, wow, I didn't know I could do that. So we try to present that there's opportunities for everybody at every level. We think at Ferris State University, our program is really operational focused. We really focus on three things: workflow engineering, color management, and then we're one of only two schools in the country that is in a College of Business. So we moved over to the College of Business about 10 years ago and we're part of the marketing department. So we're in with faculty and students that are studying business data analytics, they're studying public relations, also the graphic design program is in the marketing department. So we're really excited to be able to provide the students that perspective of our industry, which I think is a pretty accurate, after walking around here, there's marketing communication solutions, integrated data systems, and all of these things that come together. And I think that we're doing a pretty decent job of exposing the students to the breadth of opportunities and how we all have to work
I know
together.
that for sure. Over the years, I've met some incredible graduates of Ferris State who have made their mark in the industry and continue to succeed. What about placement? What does the university do about placement for your students? Do they assist in that?
Oh, absolutely. I think we like all universities, we have a career services center. My colleague and I, we've both been in the industry for our entire lives. We have a lot of connections. We have an active alumni database. Typically, there's not a problem for any of our graduates being able to get employed. Having been there for 30 years, I will say the students that graduate that have a difficult time finding a job, it's not because of their education.
Yeah.
There are just some people that have personalities and things.
Not like any other industry.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
program.
So, I can't sit here and say, oh, well, everybody gets a great job. Most everybody does, but if they don't, it's their own, they get in the way of themselves, so to speak.
And you had some recent news at Ferris State with an endowment or a donation.
Yeah, that was it's remarkable. The timing and everything is perfect. Most universities around the country are struggling financially. It's an industry that's kind of in flux right now, and with, like we all know, when revenue gets tight, then they have to start making cuts. So we all know academic programs that have closed over the years. And so when the Ann Arbor Graphic Arts Memorial Foundation decided that it was time for them to maybe redirect their focus of that foundation and close it down, we were very excited to receive $1.75 million from that foundation. And so my university matches dollar for dollar money donated for scholarships. So we took $1 million of that, turned it into $2 million as an endowment. Students have to, spoiler alert, they have to go to Ferris State University now and study in either graphic media management or graphic communications over 2 degrees. The other $750,000 we've endowed for the program, and that money is to be used for recruiting efforts. So many times, especially we're beautiful middle of Michigan, but we're a little bit far from some of our metropolitan areas like Detroit and Chicago. And so many times I'll have talked to teachers that, we'd love to come up there, we just can't afford to hire a bus or whatever. So that money will be used. We'll be busing kids in from all over to tour our labs and see the campus, and we think that that will go a long way to improve the enrollments and graduate more young professionals.
That's great. It's certainly the future of print is alive and well in the middle of Michigan.
It is. And the neat thing too is that came about from the printing industry, and that I don't want to underscore the importance of that. In the academic world, you have to understand it's run by academics, people, lawyers, PhDs, and they don't typically understand some of these career and technical pathways. So when an industry steps up and says, "Hey, we need to make sure that we have a vibrant educational pipeline to serve Michigan and the Midwest," it gets noticed by the university presidents and the provost saying, "Hey, this printing industry, wow, we didn't know that it was such a big deal."
Wonderful.
So it's been very good from a lot of perspectives.
One other thing I want to ask you about is just staffing. How is it getting people to teach these students?
Oh, that's another challenge. As you know, Susan, we've been around the block a few times together, and I'm getting up there in years, and the day is coming. I'd like to start a different chapter of my career and look into retirement. So we're actively always looking for people. The university places, again, I'm a little bit critical sometimes of my academic industry, and they have rationale, which I understand. I don't necessarily accept it. One of the challenges, again, finding people who are energetic and passionate and just put their whole life into teaching, that know the industry, is difficult enough. And unfortunately, we had academic credentials. So I'm pretty sure, unlike a lot of universities, I think we can hire a faculty with just a master's degree as opposed to a doctoral degree. Those are some of the things that I'm working kind of behind the scenes at the campus, trying to convince the provost and some of the people that it's not really necessary to, at least for our program, to do that. We don't do research.
And I think that's probably true of a lot of trade programs.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, if anybody out there is interested in associating with a bunch of very bright students with some good equipment and an endowed program, Ferris State is the place to look.
Now's the right time. And I tell you, I love, I'm here with 8 students. They organized the trip. In fact, I did absolutely nothing. They bought my plane ticket. I reserved a rental car because they're under 25. So we got the rental car here. They found this beautiful Airbnb that's only 2 miles from here, and so we've been all staying together in a big house.
Glad you're enjoying Atlanta while you're at it, my hometown.
These young people they keep me young.
Very good. Well, Pat, it's been wonderful speaking with you and hearing about the kids.
Thanks, Susan. It's been great seeing you as well.
Let's talk to you soon.